All right, everyone. Welcome to a brand new Toostupidgamerz video. I'm Mash.
I'm Zero.
And we're going to be kicking off the relaunch of our series, the TSG Showcase, Toostupidgamerz Showcase.
That's right. We're on season 4. It's been a while, Mash, hasn't it?
It sure has. Now, this, just as a refresher for anyone who hasn't seen it in a while, TSG Showcase, essentially, we have a game here. We'd like to talk a little bit more in depth about the game specifically.
We do one episode, one showcase, one video of a game, and we also take requests on this series.
That's true. So if you guys have your requests, make sure to get them in the comments, and we're going to just get right into it. This is X NORDICS. We already talked a whole bunch about this game on the channel. We did a first look for this, and the reason I wanted to do this showcase for this game is because my feelings have changed a little bit on this game.
You don't say.
I want to start off with a new game. The opening is mostly going to be cutscenes. It's a lot of cutscenes in general. We could skip this one. That was a little more ethereal, but we can just move on. Different parts of the game. We have Adel right here. They start us off on this big ship in the big blue ocean. And, you just kind of walking around. I like some things that they do initially where, so for instance, this guy doesn't have anything that important to say. When you walk up to him, automatically opens the dialogue.
Oh, so that's actually quite nice. I like that.
See, this guy, you talk a little bit more with or whatever. Maybe he asks you a question, something. You actually have to select it. But everyone else, you just kind of like walk up to them. Like, you don't need to care about what they have to say.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Let's go meet the captain.
That was one hell of a dash.
It sure was.
A passenger.
And this game is full voice acted.
Oh, I love that.
You appear to be a seasoned traveler for a boy your age.
See, this is kind of tongue-in-cheek because Adel is
This may be no surprise to you.
very well traveled by this point in the game.
Sights coming up shortly.
So it is a very visually pleasing game. I kind of complained a lot in the first look about visuals. And I think one of the problems was that I played it on the Switch. And I have to say, when I did that video, and when I played it on the Switch, I realized it looks a lot worse there than it does on PS4.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly the water, which is like a big issue I had.
I'm looking at the water right now. It doesn't look that bad.
Yeah. It looks a little bit more bland in the Switch, and yeah, I'm just kind of like I have like post-review kind of regret a little bit with the first look. I felt like I was so critical, and I've actually been really loving this game up to this point. I've been streaming it. I'm about like 20. I'm almost at the end of the game at this point, so
Good stuff.
it's definitely turned around for me. One of the reasons that we're looking at all of this is I think that out of all the Ys games I've played, I think that this one has a really, really strong like hook, like story-wise. It like really makes you want to continue seeing the story, seeing what else happens.
A little close for comfort, don't you think? How's a guy supposed to take in the sights like this?
Honestly, why the hell is this ship so close to those rocks?
Yeah, they seem to be a little bit of commotion there, huh? Something doesn't seem right about the ship.
Oh, no. Those look like Vikings.
Well, they're actually Normans in this universe. But yes, essentially they're Viking. They're called pirates, but they're basically
They're Viking
Vikings.
pirates.
They're basically Vikings, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, just looking at the ship, it's 100%
Yeah.
Viking ship.
Yeah.
I had a Viking ship playset as a kid. Bootleg Legos, and it looked exactly like that. And all the little Lego characters look like them, too.
I mean, the battle axe kind of also seals the deal.
Yeah.
Really, guys? Arrows?
Did hire mercenaries.
Put an arrow in their knee. Come on. Like that reference?
Oh, yeah. You have to dust that one off.
Yeah. Had to dig through a lot of cobweb in my brain to find that one.
Right. Thank you.
But yeah, so essentially, just to kind of rush through, this is at some point early in the game. He's supposed to be like 15 or something. They decided to go with like a very younger adult, and basically, on the way to Calcutta, you get sidetracked into this whole adventure that's happening in this region.
So this is a prequel.
Not really, because there's stuff that there are games before it, but in the chronology of it, this is before probably some of the other games. I'll put up a little chart because this website, Digital Emelas, they have like a really good outline of where all the games fit in story-wise, timeline-wise. So it's not the very first, it's not the very beginning, but it is up there. So unfortunately,
This is not the latest in the timeline.
no,
Yeah.
it's not. It's not.
Take to handle one sellsword trying to play
Again,
bodyguard.
he's pretty
Our fault, ma'am.
he's pretty young at this point. And yeah, the pirates are finding out that Adol is on board the ship, and hey, it just so happens to be that he's a pretty good fighter.
Fine then. I'll take care of him myself.
And that's our other main character, who we'll get to know very well pretty soon as well. I'm going to go over a lot of the story elements, because what I really want to focus on this specifically is the game. You know, very straightforward, like action RPG kind of combat. But the thing is that before this game came out, I can't find the tweet anymore, but I saw on Twitter that someone from Falcom explained that people should expect, they should expect a different type of yeast game. Basically, they made like a bunch of changes to the yeast formula here, and you know, sometimes that doesn't always mean good stuff, but I actually really like it, and I wanted to show off a lot of those gameplay elements, so we'll definitely get into that.
That mask has quite a bit of detail to it.
Right. And we'll get into all of that later as we go along. But we're still in the opening section. So, again, I feel like this game has a pretty good hook. And we're about to kind of see the conclusion of this opening ship segment.
So those are pirates. This is my first time encountering them in the flesh. Oh boy, we're in a real jam now.
We both already know how this goes. Any room you had to parley was forfeit the minute you put those mercenaries on your payroll.
Jeez.
Yeah, they're not fucking around.
Stay your hand, boy. Those are no mere pirates. They're the Balta Sea Force.
So she basically just kills the captain. And that's kind of how we start out. So Adol and Dogi, who's Dogi's a character from the...
He's a recurring character.
He's a recurring character in the series, yeah. The two of them plus a doctor that came along with them to Calcutta, they end up porting here in this this little town of Karnak. But things also get complicated very fast.
I see.
So just kind of like based off of early start, I think it has a really strong opener for a JRPG. Again, there is still a lot of cutscenes. There's still a lot of stuff to get through, but I just like what they did here in terms of pacing. They give you like a hook. They give you something to really get into, like, oh wow, what's going on in this area, you know?
So captain's killed, but they still let the passengers get to shore?
Yeah, because the problem was, I mean, when you think about it, it wasn't the passengers that did anything wrong. They said that the captain had skipped out on payments before. So they're essentially extorting him.
Like, isn't there like a police force at the town? Like, what's going on?
What you learn is that there's a militia in the town, but they're very underfunded.
Okay.
The mayor pretty much just bows down to the Balta Sea Force, they're called.
Okay.
The Vikings that just took over. And yeah, because of that, there really isn't like anything you could do, which is kind of fitting because Vikings were very ruthless.
No, when the Viking era was just wild. Like, if you saw them, you ran.
So this is the town of Karnak. Again, Adol had a small party accompanying him to Calcutta, and it's a pretty fair town. Here's another thing that I kind of complained about in the first look was that you know, I felt like the color wasn't so great with this town, and that I was like, oh man, why do all these towns have to be so dull in like the most recent JRPGs? But honestly, I'm looking at it, and I think that I overblew that comment in first look. There's a lot of nice green. The houses are varied, at least. They're not all like pure gray. And although I still agree that the town square could be a little bit more lively, it looks better than I made it in my first impression, and I kind of feel bad about that at this point. You know?
I was about to say, because I'm looking at the town right now, I'm looking at the colors, and I'm like, these look fine.
Yeah. It's not bad.
It really isn't. This looks fine.
Right. And now, as we kind of get to move around a little bit, we get a good understanding of how the gameplay works. We start to see this bond forming between Karja and Adol. You know, it's a good opportunity for us to actually get to explain how the combat works. So the big change is that in the past Ys games, what generally you had a party system. So you had like 2 or 3 characters and you switched between them. What they did for this game, and some people like it, some people, you know, kind of miss the old system, is that you have 2 characters simultaneously. You could still switch between them. But the thing is that they're fighting in tandem. You don't have like a 5-party setup anymore. You just have these 2 characters. And when you fight, you can actually enter duo mode, and you're attacking with each character at the same time. You do a little bit more damage. You have special skills for them.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And you're also leveling each character
simultaneously.
Yeah. They also have this story aspect where they are physically linked together.
Oh.
They have special mana abilities that basically the enemies can't be killed by regular swords. You have to kill them with mana. So they're the only 2 people that can actually kill regular enemies. Which I like because it throws back to, like, we're playing the Ys Origin playthrough, and I don't know if you remember, Zero, but, like, there are some enemies in the Ys series that you can't kill them unless you have a special item.
Yeah.
They'll regenerate, they'll come back. But that doesn't happen here, as you can see. At this point, they're basically like trying to rescue folks. And yeah, the game just kind of explains that would not be dodgeable unless you were in duo mode. So if you were by yourself, you wouldn't be able to dodge it and stuff like that. It's one of many things that they changed about this game, and I, in retrospect, really like what they've done here.
That's a big old piggy.
Yeah, the Ys series, on like a funny aspect, they really like boars. I guess because a lot of them take place in like a forest or something. So you get your wolves and stuff, but they really like their boars. It's a very easy, like, early enemy that they do that that ends up being a little bit on the stronger side. So we're about to save this poor Samaritan just hanging out.
He's the lighthouse keeper. He's important.
He's very important.
Hyper important.
You there. Help us.
This won't take us long.
Oh, so her name is Karja.
Karja. Mm-hmm. And I swear that's the same name as it's almost the same name as the wife from season 1 Walking Dead. She was the wife of the redneck guy.
I didn't really watch Walking Dead. I
No,
could
no.
care less for zombies.
It was the game.
Oh.
The Telltale games. We come back to find out basically, yeah, this guy has 2 characters that one character that we were actually hoping, Adol was kind of hoping to find and rescue. And his daughter is also, they're both in this first dungeon in the game. And we're going to get to our early boss fight. Oh, also her outfit. I'm not crazy about her outfit. We'll see this later when we jump around forward. But her design is, in this outfit, is almost exactly the same as Laxia from Ys 8. It's so similar, and she even has close to similar like color of hair, to the point where I'm just like, I don't think that they should have done it that way. But whatever. I don't hate Karja's design. She actually ends up being like one of my favorite characters, if I have to be completely honest. So we're gonna go down to the basement of the lighthouse, and again, this will be like more of our first real section of the game, of the gameplay, getting to show off the gameplay. So that's one of the things that I liked about Ys 9, because in 9 you had all these cool abilities, and it's funny, it makes it a little bit hard to come back to this, because now I can't run up a wall, I can't hover, I can't do all that crazy stuff. But it's fine, you know, like what's here still is really enjoyable. That's unfortunately what happens in a game where you give the player too many crazy things to do, and then in the sequel, you know, you're not like a superhero anymore. You have some skills and abilities, but you're more like regular. So all we really get is the web swing, and later you'll see there's also a hoverboard.
They have a hoverboard in this game?
Yes. And
Did you use mana for that?
yes,
Okay.
it's an ancient hoverboard.
Oh, of course, because the ancient people used to be able to take slabs of rock and just ride it everywhere.
I'm sure there was a caveman Tony Hawk at some point.
Seriously.
If I gotta be honest. And hey, I think Zelda did it worse, because Zelda, they give you a motorcycle, an
Oh my
ancient
God.
motorcycle. You never played Breath of the Wild?
No?
Yeah, Breath of the Wild gave you an ancient motorcycle.
Damn, Epona wasn't enough?
Time?
No, Epona was slow, bro. We got our first boss fight,
Everything's going to be fine, Sash.
and then we're gonna...
Be here to rescue us.
I'll kind of sum up some stuff, and then we'll move on to a much later portion of the game for the sake of this episode's time. I just like this. She threw a rock at him. I like that.
She's a badass.
This kid's got guts.
She's a real human. She's not just standing there going, I guess I'm gonna die. She's actually doing something.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
Oh yeah.
I like that in characters in movies and games and shows.
And
Don't
I
just stand there.
And I actually like a lot of the characters in this game. So we got our first duo skill, and basically while you're playing, so just to kind of explain how a lot of the more recent Ys games work, you hold down R1 and you push one of the face buttons, and it unlocks a special skill. You can assign them to each one.
Yeah.
Which is fun. You level up the skills, they get more effective later on. Now in this, because we have duo mode, we also have duo skills. So it's like a super attack, but with both of them at the same time.
I see.
And we got our first one, which is basically this. So I love progressing in this game and just getting all the additional duo skills. Even if you don't like this system, even if you miss the old party system, which I agree, at first it felt kind of like, oh, will it be as good if we only have 2 characters versus having a whole party of 5? After a while, you just get hooked on getting these abilities and leveling them up and finding which combinations work really well for you. And yeah, like, I love it. The enemies will also they will also have these rings form around them on occasion. What this means is that if it's red, it's a really strong attack, and we've already explained this, but basically the red attack can only be dodged if you're guarding as 2 people. If it was just one of us, that would not be guardable. There's also a blue ring that happens. We'll explain that a little bit later. But yeah, we killed the first boss, and it was fun. So I'm gonna just speedrun us to the end, because I really want to show off a lot of the cool stuff that they changed in this game. So while this
Sure.
cutscene plays out, I'll just kind of explain again. The hook, it gets even hookier later, because you fall in love with these characters. You start to get used to all of these, like this area, this Karnak place.
Then they die.
You're finding. Well, let's not get there, but we're finding that, you know, Karja and Adel have this kind of like they have this kind of like dynamic between them. And then shit hits the fan. And I'm not going to say it because whatever, if you want, you could go play the demo. You could get this game. You could see what the hook is. The demo actually gives you the first 3 chapters of the game.
Wow.
It's a
That's a
really
lot.
long demo. It's like 8 hours of a demo.
Damn.
And you can just continue your game
After you
if you
play
purchase
the demo,
it.
yeah.
If you purchase it, which is great. That's what I did. Because my copy was really late. Thanks, Amazon. So shit hits the fan. It's interesting. I really like this story. I think out of the 3 most recent ones, this game has probably the strongest story.
Really?
That's kind of what I'm thinking. But anyway, we're gonna jump forward.
Yes. Also, the fact that they let you skip cutscenes is great.
It is. They also give you a real quick while we're talking about little pieces. If you press R1, it automatically skips to the next dialogue once the person has finished talking.
Oh, nice.
So you have to keep pressing X.
So you just hold it.
That's like a thing now. No, I played Persona. Persona had that as well. So
Good,
that's like a modern thing that they're doing in games, which I really like. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and skip ahead to a further point, and we will keep this. We will still keep this spoiler free. But I want to show my buddy Zero and everybody else a couple of the different things that they changed about this game.
Okay, so now we have this big giant crab.
/ centipede. No, it's a centipede. Look at how many
No,
legs
I
it
understand. I'm joking.
Well, he's not joking. He's gonna kill us.
It's a reference to like the E3 PS3 thing.
Oh yeah, the giant enemy crabs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they love their giant enemy crabs.
That's a big old boss. Why is he here?
It's a video game, bro. What else is gonna go at the bottom of a giant sand pit than a giant sand worm? It's always sandworms.
Why isn't it a giant sand tentacle?
I guess we'll have to ask the writers about that.
No, but yeah, hit that belly.
Yeah, this is a... I'm gonna
Hit
be
him in the
honest.
gut.
This was not my favorite boss fight because it's kind of annoying, but we'll do our best.
It's called a Magna Digga?
Yes. Because it's digging.
I guess.
If you see those little... They almost look like microphones. I think whenever you see like a brown pool that's kind of like... looks almost like miasma or poison or something, that's actually causing a status ailment. This game has a lot of different status ailments, and I think he's giving us heavy, which makes us a little slower. It's a dangerous recipe. But yeah, he does a lot of damage.
Oof.
Yeah, and I don't know how to
Hyper
dodge
oof.
this. I don't know how to dodge I don't know how to
Dodge?
dodge this. I don't know how to dodge this.
You know how to dodge
I
this?
don't know how to dodge it. How do we dodge it? How do we dodge it, dude?
You tell me. You're the expert in this series.
Am I really the expert?
Yeah.
If you look at the comments section, some people seem to disagree with me.
Oh, someone's dying.
Yes. There's rescuing in this, which is weird. Oh, damn, hold on. We basically have to wait for this to stop and I will rescue our ally. But yeah, if you look at the comments section on some of our videos, apparently I'm a giant idiot because I don't like Ys 8.
I did notice that someone complained about that.
People were not happy with that. And
Yeah, well, they can go kick rocks.
well, we don't want them to kick rocks. We want them to like all our videos and apologize for calling me an idiot, which they totally did. I'm not making that up.
You have a lot of nerve being alive.
Yeah, what other thing that they do a lot with the bosses is that they'll have a shield first.
Yeah.
So any attacks aren't doing actual damage to the health bar. You have to break down the shield before you get to really do damage again. And it's cool. They get knocked back. I love the way that enemies, like the stronger enemies are done in this game. They've all been really fun and awesome. I don't know what specifically they've done. I don't know who specifically like changed this game. Who specifically was the difference maker in making this a different type of Ys game, but yeah, they did a good job. And there we go. So now we get to show off one of the coolest parts of this game, and that is the ship combat. I mean, we could not talk about this game without talking about the ship combat. Zero, have you ever played Wind Waker, or have you ever played Assassin's Creed Black Flag?
No.
Okay. Well, this is going to be all new to you.
I did play Kingdom Hearts 3. They had a little bit of ship combat there, though. So that I did play.
Well, that might be similar. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, basically, we are going around between islands. This is not like one major land. You're just in the middle of the ocean, and you're hopping between a bunch of different islands. One part of the stories is that there's a lot of rough waters that you can't get through until you get a skill that allows you to boost, and that helps you push past some of this rough water.
I see.
Now, I will say, something may or may not have gone wrong with the showcase episode, and I would have had the ability to show off a boat where you have 4 of them, so you could boost a lot more.
Seems like the whole hell
But we'll just have to deal with this. Okay, so we have a little bit of the area to explore. This is just one sea chart, so it's one part of the whole map. But we do get to show a little bit of the things that I like about the ship combat. I'm not sure if I'll have a chance to show off the recaptures, which are basically settlement liberations, but with little islands. I love how they did that, but unfortunately, we might not get to show that off. So this is kind of just free roam exploration. And again, in my first impression, I didn't feel like I did a great job. I only showed the very, very beginning, which not much was going on. As you see, you have all of these glowing beams, these beacons. When you enter them, all these ships pop up, and you basically just do little ship combat. It's awesome. It's fun. The more you level up your ship, you'll have cooler abilities to fire with. You can freeze some of these enemy ships. You can inflict burn on them. Again, I eventually did get more dashes, so I'm just like powering through all of this stuff. But you could charge into the other ships and fight them. It's really nice. You know, the music is really good too, might I add.
I mean, the music sounds fine. It's decent combat music, especially for, like, ships. Oof. I always found ship combat to be frustrating, especially when I played it in Kingdom Hearts, because, again, your cannons are mainly on your sides. So you have to aim yourself really well and make sure you angle stuff well.
Well, they've kind of fixed that because your X attack, your cannonball attack, which you can also change the different types that they have, that can go forward and backward. So this guy's behind us. I should be able to... Oh, I guess I can't while I'm stopped. Well, we'll see when we go back to fight the main ship. But basically, yeah, you can attack forward, even though it's coming out the side. You can aim it. The one that's on a triangle, you have to turn sideways and then you fire it like that. That you can't do forward. But the main attack, the main cannon, you can. So we're going to practice a abordage, where they get on board and you fight a couple waves of enemies. It's fun. It's really honestly cool.
They have doggies on board?
Yeah, of course.
What happened to, like, the people?
They're a bunch of sea dogs. No, so they're called Grieger. It's just a general term for all of the enemies that they have. So you have, like, these kind of antler demon kind of guys. You have a knight here and there, and you will also have the dogs too.
Holy heck.
Yeah, it gets fun. These get really fun. Another boar.
It's another pig.
Boar.
It's another boar.
We made quick work of him.
Timon and Pumbaa. It's Pumbaa.
But I like how they integrate different parts of the gameplay to really hone in on variety. You know, the ship combat wasn't just going around fighting ships. If you have this type of boss ship, you can board it and you can fight them that way. And now, that's it. The ship is done. I love this. You know, there's like little crap in the ocean that you could pick up for some pickups. Utilizing these streams, we can get a little bit faster. And, you know, we even have like other things that we can do too. I actually accidentally went into that, so we'll fight another round. We'll do one more round of this sea fighting.
What did those downward arrows mean? Does it mean it's going, like, slower?
What downward arrows?
Like, that ship you just attacked, it had like a... It wasn't an actual arrow, but it looked like it was decreasing something.
It's a status ailment.
I see.
Your attack is
Yeah, like those effects.
Okay, so no, that's not a status ailment. If you hit them enough times, that arrow will eventually turn red, which basically means, yeah, they're slower.
Okay. So those are the streams of air that make it go faster?
Yes.
Okay.
And they also recharge your boost, which is nice too.
Nice.
What's
Yeah.
that? Looks like a merchant ship.
You'll
Maybe
find
they'll
stuff
sell
like
some more goods.
you'll find stuff like these kind of vessels. You'll be able to hop between islands and do fun mini quests. You can also, I like doing this view when you don't have a lot of boosts because it feels like the ship is going faster than it is.
Oh, easy there. You don't want to. You don't
Yeah.
want to ram that shit.
Okay, so yeah, just to kind of let everyone know, unfortunately, we had a little mishap with being able to show a cool file. At this point in the game, we're kind of locked. So, you know, I'm not going to buy or sell anything from this guy, but we're kind of locked at this point to just this area. The map is much bigger, but I'm going to put in some gameplay that I'm going to record off of my Twitch stream of... They're called recaptures, and they're really cool because just what we did with the ships at first, a little bit more varied because there are these pillars you have to take down in addition to fighting ships, and then it switches from 3 waves of that to you make landfall on the island that it was around, and then you do 3 waves of a dungeon with a little bit of exploration.
Okay.
Again, I just feel like they really emphasize variety with the gameplay here, and that was what I really wanted to show off. We can't show that off now, but again, I put a little gameplay overlay so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. This is X NORDICS. This is basically the game. I am really enjoying it. I'm glad that we got a new Yeast game, and I'm here singing a really different tune than I was when we got 8. I'm glad that performance issue-wise, it's a lot better than 9 was, because 9 was a great game, but I felt like it had a lot of performance issues. Yeah, looks good, plays good, great soundtrack, really good story. You guys should definitely check it out. But that's going to do it for this showcase. I want to thank everyone so much. We want to thank you guys for checking out our content.
If you guys enjoyed this, please make sure to slap the like button, mash the subscribe button, and let us know down in the comments below, or join our Discord and let us know what games you want to see on our showcase season 4. What games would you like to see us play? If it's within our means, we'll put it up on the channel for you guys.
That's right. Yeah, we're always open to new suggestions. We just opened season 4 of Showcase. We're going to continue to do a couple more of these games that we want to feature, some new, some old. And yeah, once again, thank you so much for watching us. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.
Take care.
Bye.